If you are the parent of a teenager or even a 20-something Gen Zer, pay close attention for the next few minutes. You will be glad you did. There is a mental health trend taking over social media. It's called crashing out. And I'm here to tell you the real story about what it means and why you should be concerned. Let's look at some headlines. Crashing out: how Gen Z adopted the perfect term for our unstable era. Gen Z is embracing emotional distress with a new name. Why is everybody crashing out? So, what is crashing out? It's slang for emotionally losing control, often in public or in destructive ways.
I worked 10 hours! All I want is Wingstop!
Public meltdowns, yelling, screaming, picking fights, breaking things, mental breakdowns, storm-off moments, or complete emotional shutdowns.
Any rich person, please tap in, like Kourtney Kardashian. Like, you probably have 8 houses. I'm never going to be able to buy one because I went to college.
And teens aren't just feeling it, teens aren't just doing it, they're posting it, sharing it, and going viral with it.
I hate men so much!
Now, the term crashing out was popularized by rapper NBA YoungBoy in his 2017 track, Stepped on It. The term was also a runner-up for American Speech's 2024 Word of the Year. Celebs are crashing out too.
Not to be with by any of you.
Remember Will Smith? Charlie Sheen's erratic behavior and statement about having tiger blood.
I just have a different constitution, I have a different brain, I have a different heart, I have a different, I got tiger blood, man.
But it's not just celebs. On TikTok, millions of young people are posting videos of themselves crying, ranting, shaking with frustration, all captioned, "I crashed out." Have these teens hit the breaking point? Is this all choreographed? Is this just narcissistic showboating? Now, teens on TikTok calling their tantrums crashing out might be performative, attention-seeking behavior rooted in entitlement and a lack of emotional resilience and maturity. Now, that's a busy sentence I just threw at you there that includes a lot of different things, and it's on a continuum. Is it really just kind of play acting, like, oh, this is cool, so let me see how nutty I can act? Or are they so entitled and so fragile and lack so little ability to bounce back from frustration that they're just putting it on display? And those are two different things. One is just, I'm going to do this to get attention. I'm not even frustrated. I'm just going to act like I am. To not caring that people see them at their worst. From one perspective, this term becomes a superficial label for childish outbursts that are really more about garnering likes and sympathy than expressing genuine distress. Because if everybody's watching you do this, you've got to be watching yourself as well. And if you're filming it and posting it, you got to be looking at it after the fact and going, wow, that was me. Why would I be posting that? Why would I be proud of that? Why would I think that distinguishes me in the positive? Are these just childish dramatics to manipulate the audience perceptions and reinforce their sense of self-importance? Like, everybody stop and look at what I'm going through. Or are they simply seeking validation in an environment that rewards spectacle over maturity? What's the old saying? There's no negative press? Well, yeah, there actually is. Because when you put that kind of thing up on social media and then you go to apply for a job, do not think that there is a HR department on the face of the earth that doesn't go look at your social media. Don't think there is an admission committee at a university anywhere that doesn't check social media for their applicants. And if an employer or an admissions committee or whoever goes and checks it and sees you acting the way we just looked at, they're going to say, do I want to bring that problem into my company or onto my team or onto my campus and put it in my dorm? Yeah, no, I don't think so. Not only do they behave that way, they're obviously proud of it or don't have the judgment to think it's not okay that they're publishing this. Who would want to buy into that? When it comes to mental health, do we need to assume that any cry for help is serious? Because if you take this serious, then somebody needs to intervene. If you don't take it serious, this is just somebody that's putting on a show and they don't really feel that way at all, which really cheapens those who actually do have breakdowns, who actually do lose it and can't control their emotions. And they can get lost in the shuffle, and that's a terrible thing. I've seen people that go through this for real, and they need help, and they need it right now. And now here are people that are doing this just because they think it's cool, and it will cause people to not react to those who actually need help. It's like the little boy who cried wolf. You do it enough times, and people stop reacting. Now, somewhere in the sea of these childish crashing outposts are teens who aren't crying wolf. They truly are lost. They truly are having panic attacks. They truly are at the end of their coping strategies. So how do you know when to be concerned? Nearly half of Gen Z struggle with mental health. 1/3 are on medications for anxiety and depression. 37% of Gen Z are seeking therapy. Thank God if they need it, they're getting help. That's a much higher rate than millennials, Gen X, or boomers. Pew Research reports Gen Z has higher rates of loneliness than any previous generation. Why is that? Well, because they don't have real relationships. They live on their phones, and nothing great's ever going to happen on a 2-inch screen. They don't have real human contact. They don't have good friends. They don't cultivate relationships. I met some of these anxious teens on a recent episode of Dr. Phil Primetime called Why Are Gen Z Teens More Anxious Than Ever?
I'm talking about my anxiety with thousands of people because they're going through the same thing. I do read my comments.
You say social media is the source of anxiety for you. Mm-hmm. And as strange as this sounds, social media is not a requirement for your existence. That made you anxious. It's not? No, it's really not. Let me tell you, you got to really consider that a lot of what's being put up on TikTok, disguised as advice, mental health help, they ain't got any more idea than a goose what they're talking about. If you get something off of TikTok, you might want to go check that out. Parents, you need to be the best voice in your child's ear. Crashing out is just a buzzword, but it could be describing anxiety, depression, panic attack, phobia. We're talking about emotional dysregulation where there are wild ups and downs, and they're not doing it for the camera. They're actually experiencing this. We're not teaching a generation how to handle stress. And this is something I've said should always be part of a school curriculum, but it's not. We don't teach coping skills, and we should. We all hit the wall sometimes. Life is not a success-only journey. We're going to have ups, we're going to have downs. The question is, how do we handle those? How do we build resilience? We don't want to glorify the crash. We want to glorify the bounce back. You build self-esteem, you build self-worth by observing yourself overcome obstacles, and then you attribute to yourself the ability to handle those things. You say to yourself, hey, I overcame that. I saw myself do it, so I damn well know I can. And if you don't get out and face the world, you'll never learn that about yourself. Parents, if you don't let your child fall and scrape their knee, get up, dust themselves off, and go on, they'll never learn that they can. That's why an entitled generation with a bunch of concierge helicopter parents are not getting a thick enough skin to compete in an all-contact life. Now, crashing out is being glorified on the internet, and that's a bad thing. You don't want to be posting those kind of things. What you want to be doing is recognizing that you're running out of coping energy, you're running out of coping skills, and you need to reach out to someone responsible, someone with skills to help fortify your arsenal of coping energy, your arsenal of coping skills, behaviors, and techniques, so you don't crash out. That's a new term, but running out of ways to deal with the world is an old problem. You didn't invent that, so don't feel alone. If you're feeling overwhelmed, reach out for help. It's there. If you can't afford an expensive therapist, that's no problem. There are all kinds of hotlines you can call. There are all kinds of support groups you can attend. There are all kinds of responsible ways to help you find the strength within yourself. I promise you it's there, and you deserve to believe in yourself. And there will be lots of links associated with those resources right here where we post the real story. You deserve better than embarrassing yourself on the internet. And that is the real story. Wherever you're getting the real story, make sure you subscribe and follow. I'll see you Monday. Homeowners, when's the last time you checked on your home title? If your answer is never, then this is for you. Scammers are stealing titles and your equity is the target. Criminals forge your signature and just like that, your home title can be transferred out of your name. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code Phil at HometitleLock.com and you'll get a free title history report. Plus, you'll get a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title. Urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Phil.